Hello, welcome to yet another edition of Nadia Yvette Chambers. My commentary on, well, I guess reality. So, someone said I'm like a murderer. Oh, obviously it's pretty routine. I mean, whether a pedophile or a Nazi stormtrooper, well, they do it all the time. Here, they say that I have a dangerous and deadly lifestyle like a murderer. This is Bill Muhlenberg, author of Strained Relations, Challenge of Homosexuality. First off, Bill, Mr. Muhlenberg, I'm not homosexual, I'm transsexual. Second, um, well, you said there are maybe greater risks in, say, anal sex or something, which is obviously your obsession. Well, they are not so grossly disproportionate that to the things we do in our lives that are not worth taking. At least for those who have some benefit from it. Like, when was I going to get my surgery? Oh, yeah, my savings got cleaned out. Oh, and why did I clean them out? Well, obviously, you want me to do it. Why did, well, my career and, well, yeah, once I got burned, it was just, nobody really felt like they make the comeback. Right? I mean, and here we go with the usual slavery. Just said to wrong. Yeah, here he says it. Who is this Bill Mueller? Yeah. Compares homosexuality to that. And of course, me to homosexuality. I mean, as much as I love gay men, I'm not one of them. Yeah, I guess he uses the word unhealthy and dangerous, whatever. And confused Christians who reject scripture for worldly wisdom. Oh dear. What? This is the usual liberal Christians are no true Christian. Well, fuck you. They're people I actually care about. Yeah. Last time I checked, Christians were followers of Christ who just believed in things like life, death, and resurrection. I guess salvation through Christ and various things of that sort. Yeah, just because a Christian is LGBT affirming doesn't mean they're not a Christian. Not that I'm a grand authority on Christianity, but okay. Maybe some other ones going, but yeah, I am. I never joined. It's like 8:19 p.m. Who knows? I'll get the link out to everybody. Yeah, unhealthy and dangerous or somewhere else. Quite a bit earlier. somewhere in there. I'm not really concerned. I mean, after a while, the hate speech all runs into, well, a big fat player. I'll tell you what's dangerous and deadly about my lifestyle. Well, when people are all weirded out, well, don't want me to be their new coworker, and think, well, if there's somebody we got to get rid of, that, I don't know, thing that should be the first one out the door. And, yeah, that thing's having some kind of, well, kind of don't really feel comfortable with them anyway. Why hang on? Karen and Desert. So, yeah, you're saying that I'm so deadly. Yeah. Well, it cuts off that resource. And what is it? That's the health insurance pays for the medicine to treat my medical conditions to keep me alive and all. That's the, I'm talking about chemical alive, like my blood turns to acid, and like the alien. Am I breaking up for you guys? Because I see I'm not getting that good a Wi-Fi signal.
You're fine.
And of course, well, how about that roof over my head in winter? You think I don't freeze?
What's that?
How about the, I mean, granted, I might need to lose a little bit of weight. Okay, a lot of weight, but, well, how long do you think I last enough for? Longer than you?
Longer than me, probably.
Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, I am talking to the audience.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
So, yeah, lifestyle is not really necessarily about who you are. It might be determined by who you are, but it's how you're living. How I live is a product of, well, those interactions, those you insight. How many years homeless because of that? How long does it take me to get a job? What's the amount? Do you think anyone lasts a year and a half or longer without an income to pay rent and so on? Yeah, that's well, the way my lifestyle is determined. You dictating it to me. You dictate my homelessness. You, uh, well, prevent the medical treatment that would, keep me from being a freak. You voted it down. You just shot it down in Michigan. Was it March or so? Shot it down nationwide in 1981. And for all the rescission of the Medicare affair, well, what was done then hasn't been undone. Yeah, if I have a dangerous and deadly lifestyle, it's only because you dictated to me. You imposed those dangers on me. You threatened my life. You, Christian right. You can believe in Jesus just fine. We have Karen here and Deidre and yeah. You are act as the accuser. And when you say, "Go and sin no more," you usurp the place of Christ. So, in the context of your own doctrine, you're very inconsistent. I mean, by and large, you have higher aspirations to and be an antichrist. Well, okay. How does that feel? I don't know. Thought I winged something decent there, but otherwise I would have waited for the hour mark. What do you think, Karen?
I think woman, and I'm practically a friend.
And likewise, together, maybe in a few years, I won't be staring at you with a man's face or speaking to you in a man's voice.
A man's face or a voice.
Well, you know, objective measures.
I think
Oh,
congrats on your
am I
job.
echoing?
Yeah. You're echoing a bit.
Congratulations on your job.
Yeah. Congrats.
Took a year and a half and wasn't quite feel I expected, or where I expected either.
It's a man.
I think I need to show up for day one before it's official, but she seems firmly committed.
Oh, I it's yours.
Oh yeah.
How it is, you got to show whatever FEIN and other paperwork.
Patient paying for you your ticket.
We're working out various things. The gas can be cheaper than a plane ticket, especially on the schedule. And if it is, I'm sure somebody will throw things in for Bob, at least to offset the cost somewhat.
Well, that way to lug what items you have to take with you down there too, and not have to worry about checking them and having them not arrive and the nonsense.
Yeah. Need to find a more effective delivery system or a less harmful delivery system. I mean, the smell puts people off and makes rental hard. Bob and I were on about that, and gonna once I get a stable address to ship to, I'll try ordering some stronger stuff to vape with.
I I vape. I rely on it a lot.
You have a dial on.
Oops, sorry, I don't mean to be so loud. On the bottom of your battery.
Do I have a dial on the bottom?
Because
I
you
don't
can,
think so.
if you do, you strength of the draw that you take in. Because I notice it kind of chokes you a little bit when you first start. too. My son had given it to me, and it had an older wick in it. I replaced the wick, and I know when to replace it now because it makes me kind of cough a little bit. Don't fall down.
Well, I jumped and was a good idea. Yeah. Dropping the weight makes a difference for a big difference for my knee too. Back in the first half of 2012, before my thyroid died, I was actually able to walk a lot more normally than now, and a lot of it is, carrying another 60, 70 pounds or 80 or more.
I maintained 130 6 years ago, and I've gone up 200 pounds now, but I'm short. I'm 5'3".
Oh, that's gotta be a lot harder.
Well,
Oh, that's gotta be a lot harder.
round fat lady.
Yeah, well, a lot of it isn't necessarily entirely aesthetic. There's mechanical issue with my knee, and then there's waist-hip ratio. You actually have real developed hips, so you don't necessarily have to go about trying to cut down your waist to make your hips bigger.
I had to.
Sorry?
I said I probably couldn't cut down my waist again if I had to.
Well, question is where you cut off from doing so, right?
Well, my has got the best of me, I think.
Yeah. Well, there are ways to deal with a number of things. Probably number one is to get in with endocrinology. Number two, jack things up with stimulants. Number three, possibly also surgery.
I'd probably take some action.
Yeah, the access to the various healthcare to address it, unfortunately, plutocratic and mediated by money.
Sure, I guess a lot of things have changed. I turn 62 next month, so I'm eligible for certain Social Security plans, and I can get my part of my ex-husband or a percentage on my ex-husband's Social Security. So I think I'm looking at that.
Oh, that. Yeah.
I find it hard to work because I haven't got full use of my hands, and I can't pick up a coffee cup without using two hands. When it rains, it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, solutions to those kinds of things I'm not as well versed on. Assuming there are solutions.
Well, it's rheumatoid, so the joints are breaking down real bad.
What's breaking down real bad?
The joints in my knuckles are getting deformed because of the lack of cushion there now.
Right. Okay. Yeah, healthcare is.
But not anything to stop the.
What would stop the progression?
There's really nothing that can stop the progression. There's just things that can help the pain and help the inflammation.
Yeah. I think I missed a higher calling. I think it's too late in my life by far to go into medicine now, but really my own bodily troubles made me realize, how high calling healing people is. Wish I had gone into medicine.
The last couple years.
Oh, sorry.
The last couple years, I've become really, really conscious of how fragile life can be and how fragile the human body is. I fell and broke my arm. It was a year in February, and it didn't heal. Doctors kept, an orthopedic surgeon wouldn't see me because I didn't have the insurance, and I don't have any use of my right hand at all. I mean, I can hold a pen in it, but I can't write with it because you won't be able to read it.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know, way that's so easily dismissed by so many.
I never like such a second-class citizen as I did. I've had insurance all of my life. I paid, into my medical insurance, always had good coverage. And when I was laid off 3 years, I no longer had coverage. And I went into the doctors and willing to work out a payment plan. But because I didn't have insurance, instead of casting my arm, he put it in a sling and in a brace and told me to go home. And when I pulled the brace off, I couldn't even move my fingers. They literally froze. And it's June, and physical therapy to even be able to bend the fingers. I still can't make a fist, like I said, I can't hold a pen, and I can't write, and I'm right-handed.
Yeah, that's not far from what went on with my knee.
Well, and med didn't even touch me. Unemployed or anything. Because I had no dependent children and no life-threatening problems. But what's more life-threatening than not being able to work and support myself,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've threatened my life.
I think you're in the right direction, though, my dear.
I agree.
Well, there's something to work with. Well, only time will tell, really, if it comes to as much as I hope it could be.
Well, my plan wouldn't have encouraged you to make that 8-hour trip there if she wasn't sure you had a job. And heck, $30 an hour, you should be able to get you a place, put some money aside, and get your surgery.
You're getting $30 an hour?
That's the plan for it, yes.
Oh, man, it's awesome, nothing.
Yeah. It's also half my prior salary. So.
My $9 an hour, and he works at a very, very high-risk, dangerous job. They pay him hazard pay to work there, so.
Right.
I'm excited for you, though. Good things happen to good people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for you too, Nadia.
Well, not so sure about good things and good people, but I certainly.
And you had me worried.
Yeah, I absolutely know what to do with it. I was a, well, very good financial planner. And I'll remain so to this day.
I would not.
I do know my strengths, as well as my weaknesses.
Well, I think not so overwhelmed and so worried. That takes a lot of stress off.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think stress is the biggest debilitating factor that a person can have. You feel you just don't know what to do.
In some respects, yes.
Did you go to the grocery store?
Yeah,
Oh bless,
yeah,
oh bless.
yeah. Done a great deal for me.
That haul the trailer down there, and Mike Land could help you find a place to set it out. You may not want to live forever, but a hell of a lot of money by doing so.
Well, it depends a lot, and thus far, we don't think it's the top prospect.
You don't think it's a good
Yeah.
option?
Well, we could do better in terms of overhead with other available options, even motels. And welcome, Brian. Peace, love, light, and gnosis. There you go. Yeah, not sure where to put these for now, but they spoiled.
What are you about? What are you about to fix?
I'm actually putting groceries away.
Oh.
Fix things so much as just snack a bit or something. Picked up some snacks and so on. Yeah, we got some fish though, but so if I'm making anything, it'll probably be fish.
A whole macaroni and cheese.
That sounds good.
Processed food.
Yeah. Given that I've been visiting the I don't know, little convenience store or whatever at the RV park, I'm like, yeah, I'd be better off if I at least got some. If I'm gonna have junk food or whatever, should have something less harmful. So I picked up a bunch of Triscuits with about 15% phosphorus.
Well,
Yeah, I think iron.
oh, excuse me.
Oh, go ahead.
I've already had my 3 vegetable dinners this week, so.
Yeah.
And I was lazy.
Hey, hey, Nadia. Hey, Karen.
Hi, Palm.
Welcome, Palm. Palm.
Hey, good to see you, Karen.
You as well, my dear.
Hey, Palm.
Oh, Della, didn't notice you. Hey.
I get that a lot. Hey, man.
Oh.
Hi, Brian.
Across, I can put some production value into, I guess, shorter, more digestible YouTube videos. Maybe get things from that and, just run for 8 hours on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you in the hangouts, that's for sure. But on short ones at night.
Well, well, getting to a gym is a big deal, and end up there.
I spend my 5 miles a day with the dog, but even when it's been raining, she loves getting out in the rain. But damn,
They got those I think cross trainers, is it? Or something for legs. Fully.
Moving my legs is okay. It's just I need like the ellipticals to take the impact off.
Oh yeah, if they got that, I mean that would, if you could burn 400 calories there, I mean that would cut in into your fat.
Yeah, hugely. And I'm
get your cardio going.
patient and so on enough put in hours.
But you could be on your phone, and you could be on Hangout, and you could be on your elliptical forward on your on the machine, and you can do your Hangouts and be doing sports.
And we can see
Oh, sure. I've seen people do that, and yeah, I probably would have to get a phone with better battery life.
Engaged. I know you are that type of individual. You have to be able to do something with your head while you are doing sports, because it's very repetitive. It can get boring fast if you cannot distract your mind.
That's so much an issue. Like I said, I could put that styrofoam off the underside of car bodies every 38 seconds for, well.
I had a workout today, so I'm pretty happy. Oh.
And salt. Okay.
hard to believe. Years ago, I was spinning and going to the gym every morning. But my important my gym.
Oh. Well, it's difficult getting to the gym after a while.
Well, I lost my job about 3.5, 4 years ago, so financially, I haven't been able to do it.
That's hard. I invested a long time ago in weights for permanently, and I put them in the backyard, and I can just I've set up the backyard as a fitness or a gym, so I can just go to the backyard.
Well, in the audience, and you can go at your own pace. That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, and machines aren't taken. Sometimes the machine is full.
Cheap enough for that. It's also not small enough.
Hey,
Welcome back home. Beckel, good news. Yep, looks like I got a job. So, I just have to get there. Yeah, I might be a lot closer to your area. It's southeastern Pennsylvania, a bit outside of Philly. Yeah, it's even I don't think that far from Camden. So.
But you're getting.
Getting closer back to where I'm named for.
I know.
Yeah, I noticed, Claudia, each time you move, it's closer to New York.
Well, not September 26, 2013, was it? That was,
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean now.
well, Michael Ann is, gonna bring me on to, Mixer. And, hello, Big Diddy.
Hey, Diddy. He shut his hangout down quickly. I got back in the bank and you guys were gone already.
Whose hangout got shut down?
Up a lot. We were in talking to him and I had to run to the bank. They'll come back. So I ran to the bank, hurried fast, came back. They were gone. They were gone.
Crossed we can.
I'm sorry. What?
Fingers crossed we can stick with it a little bit longer here.
No, hang out. He's a sweetheart. He hasn't been online for a few days.
And welcome, Atheism Machine. Big.
Yes, it is.
Know where you're already there. Bunch of stuff insurance in the state doesn't cover. Yeah. With private insurance.
I have some stuff in the background, so that's why I'm muting.
No worries.
Find out about the job.
Earlier today.
Nice. Good job.
Have to resuscitate my career. I mean, I was well.
Right. Well, you're almost
Well,
there.
sugar.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah. I am so sorry. My last night I had to reboot and do everything, and I am so sorry that I cut out on you.
Yeah.
And it's been something today, and I am just so sorry.
But I understand technical things going.
You restore all my settings, and it was a pain, and I'm sorry. Just sat in a room with these people that I've never heard of before, and I'm quite. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably did something. Sorry. I'm horrible.
New people you met.
Oh, I hope I know. I'm so upset. Okay, I don't know what this thing MGTOW or MRAs people are. There's I don't know where they are, and they're men. All they say of males' rights, if I understand this, and they want the right to stop a woman from having an abortion, or so that they can have the baby, or sign away their rights. And I always feel bad for. I've seen men that have just cried and cried and cried because they accidentally got away, and he didn't have any say in it. So I get that. I don't know that that's nor do I care. But it's all over, and that we're getting knocked up, and we don't give a damn about them. And it started with during the suffragette stuff, and we didn't like having women didn't like having sex with men, didn't like having sex, on, and it's just really hateful. And so I tried my peace talk, and well, isn't this a character issue? Because it really seems like there's problems on both sides, and sure, we should do something about this. Like it's a gender issue. If they're both have problems, maybe it's a character issue. And anything I said, they would attack and give stats. They're an amazing thought process, is all I can say. And they just lost my damn mind. Before, and you know me, I'm real fair. Yeah, let's look at solution. And I even said to them, okay, look, I hear you guys have been talking about this. You're arguing, you're screaming, but we're not getting anything positive done. What can we do to lift our up so this doesn't happen, so we can take the shame away from women getting pregnant. They're suggesting that it's our fault because we sleep with men, and it's like, oh, how did I know he was irresponsible? You know, or I don't.
And you don't need
It
to
was
hear
madness. You're right. It
propaganda.
really is. Yeah. So
Too
anyways,
close-minded. It's okay to have an opinion and all that stuff for themselves. To shut you down and shut you up if you give an opinion as a woman was not right.
I thought that Fox News was a mess, but that wasn't even to go watch Sean Hannity. I really feel good about myself. No, I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
No, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good.
Well.
William's here. What's up? What's up?
Yeah. There's bad news buffeting us on a number of fronts.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
this one from what's her name?
What's her name?
Marjorie Denenfelser. There we go.
And what's her gig?
What's that?
You know, my feeling is you should have to have an abortion. I think it's just a horrible thing to have to do. But you know, but you take it away completely, and women go to the back alley. It's a Kobayashi Maru. You just can't win this one. So you got to do what's, you know, I don't know.
Every situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I don't condemn or condone. It's just one of those things. What can you do?
I heard you in a chat the other day, and they were talking about abortion and, you know, supporting the individual. And you mentioned a little 12-year-old girl that you heard her say.
Yeah, that was about rape and incest. Because I used to be totally in favor of abortion. Because, you know, what about us? You got to give them, you know, a chance. Because I was under the same impression as I think maybe most people are, that that's very unpleasant, that nobody wants a child that was conceived out of rape and incest. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case for what I'm finding out, especially since my niece is a victim of both rape and incest. She's a product of. And she's a wonderful person, and I can't imagine this world without her. And that, like I said, the video I watched, I was skeptical about because it came from a religious organization, but yet what they said, these women said, were, look, this is what cured me. This baby cured me. And the little 12-year-old girl said, when she went to the doctor, and he said, yes, you're pregnant, we'll schedule the abortion. She goes, is that going to take away the pain of my rape? And he said, well, no. And regardless of whether I'm pro or not, I never looked at that side of it, you know. And I'm not saying that you should make that you should have that child, but I wonder how many people actually have seen that side, because I didn't, you know. And that's not a vote for or against abortion. It's just something I didn't know. Just something I didn't know. I wonder how much stuff I don't know, and I think I'm sure lots of people are the same, you know.
That's some of, you know, the different rooms that makes me think a little bit harder and see another side to the coin. Sometimes it'll strengthen my views. And great.
The last time I got upset was this last issue with Indiana. I was all like, I thought we dealt with the LGBT thing. I thought we fought that fight and won, you know, and I too long I didn't realize how much separatism there is out there and how really unwilling a lot of people are to just be respectful and be kind. It's disappointing.
Yeah, that's well, in many ways far from over.
Yep.
Bear in mind the entire liberal derailed on marriage many people that much.
Right.
Right.
You know, have you ever heard about during the 30s or before the crash of the stock market, that at least on the coast there were quite a few gay clubs, and that homosexuality was getting ready to come out at that time of market. I don't know whether that's just an urban rumor or not.
Well, accepted within elites. It's when it became mainstream that's when it become a problem.
Okay, I can believe that.
We've had kings, we've had controls of countries. Hoover America, you know, the FBI, he was gay and openly gay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's when it becomes, that's when it became an issue, because then it wasn't something that could be controlled.
But out. I mean, he got exposed, right?
No, it was to people who knew, like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
all relevant, you know.
I understand.
It's now you've got and stuff like that, so that basically we all know. As soon as somebody's gay, we all know, you know, like it's a kept secret. Before people that knew, the people who knew were all the elites. Now you don't have that outage, you're outed as gay globally. It's instant, you know, the internet has that.
Yeah.
That is good.
Outing straight people loses their virginity. I think we should out them. Teasing, of course. Teasing. Sorry, that we're illegal children or underage children. Nobody got that one, huh? I always say that. Somebody always says small animals. Small animals. What about the big animals? Oh, I had to laugh. I gotta watch Mr. Blobby to make me happy.
When maybe that was some kind of grievous offense. But, I don't know. Some things can be kept in your bedroom, but I mean, well, and it generally confirms the sort of well, unfortunately, kind of gender essentialist, you know, feminization of the brain hypothesis, right? Where, you know, essentially, like in males, it's incomplete feminization or incomplete masculinization, and females, it's a masculinization beyond the norm, right? So, and in those respects, it can touch when there's, you know, one area affected. It's likely that you'll touch on other areas too. So, I mean, this kind of what people will do sometimes is they'll say, well, you know, keep it in your bedroom. Don't have your mannerisms or voice or whatever that gives you away. But
I'm not suggesting that.
Well, you're not, of course, but
yeah.
That just from kind of the kind of basic kind of neurological kind of things that, you know, it is kind of a logical kind of characteristic, or at least one inborn and not effectively mutable and not mutable by the means we have now, and it's associated with, you know, other kinds of, you know, masculinization, feminization that would over time. Of course, it's for a bodily affair, like in, you know, transsexual, like superior longitudinal fasciculus, right? The pons homunculus, the superior longitudinal fasciculus runs through it, and recognizing that kind of bodily perception affair causes these psychological pain and such, drives us to, well, reconfigure ourselves. You know, so something that we, I guess, can acknowledge is like alleviation of suffering in those cases, and try and dodge discrimination there. I mean, but really, a lot of this is the feminine, I mean, some kind of implicit misogyny. Like, I mean, nobody's really screaming how horrific lesbians are. And they might not approve, not right. They're really screaming about how, yeah, the various males have, you know, taken on some kind of feminine attribute. And,
well, don't you think that's because see, it all comes back to sex to me. I feel like people may not, straight men are probably put off by, you know, two men having sex, but of course aroused by two women, so they don't really care about the women because that serves their, whatever their, you know, agenda is, or their sexual agenda. Do you think that has anything to do with it? even if they're not, even if they don't have a gay bone in their body. And I think that fuels a lot of this.
Yeah. That's closed my.
Okay.
Real men just respect their all life and people's.
Yeah.
Turned on, but.
I condemn it. No chamber there, but.
So what if you were born in a society where it was a homosexual society?
Okay.
Yeah, but the big child. Let's say it was, then.
But I was.
You left that society and it wasn't susceptible. Would you still feel the environment you open?
Here's the thing. I was born in '64. I was born to two parents that were highly liberal, going to gay pride up, even though there was nobody gay in my family, and I didn't know that being gay was a problem. It wasn't something. I'd known gay people in my life for as long as I'd been around, and I'm 50 years old, so it's been a while. I remember when PFLAG came out in the early 70s, and our friends started joining PFLAG, parents and friends of lesbians and gays, and I watched that whole thing happen. So that was my experience. I lived in a world where, of course, then I would see people who it wasn't acceptable to, and I thought, oh, they're jerks, because it was ever seen.
Yeah, chat around and then the vice versa of that. Let's say it was a world where it wasn't accepted, and you were the minority. You were the person who were saying it's right when everybody's telling you it's wrong. It's a social thing. I don't know. It's different.
I would like to think
times. The difference is that we are our evolution as humans. It's more so now, and in 10 years' time it'll be more so, and then in 20 years' time it'll be more so. And look back in history, and it's progressive.
Yeah.
Homosexuality, and it's got to be accepted by most, and it will do. Eventually, it'll be norm. It'll be nothing. It'll be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be nothing. It's like saying a kid, like, he's allergic to peanuts, and it won't be a big deal. It won't take that long. It's
my niece is transgender. Sorry, my niece is transgender, and at 3 years old, being funded to school as a girl, and nobody in the neighborhood has ever. This child has gotten that golden gift that every transgender person would dream of, and I hope that our way continues to go that way. And I hope that I hope.
I don't know. I'm not 200% sure. I'm not. To me, like any child, I don't think a child could really know. A 3-year-old.
I know.
I don't know. Like
I know.
I couldn't really comment on, but I don't hold too good with me, to be honest.
It is definitely a slippery. There's definitely a slippery slope. Camille Paglia, who is I'm sure you know who Camille Paglia is. She had made a comment, and I don't know how anybody feels about it. She's a feminist. Was in with Gloria Steinem, but she was a lesbian, or she is a lesbian, and Gloria Steinem straight. Apparently, they weren't really good friends. I thought they were two peas in a pod. But recently, she just did an interview where she had said that in 1965 she was the only out lesbian that she knew, and she was very rambunctious and very precocious, real dominant. And she said, "I'm glad I didn't know about transgender then, because I would have figured that was the route I should take, and I probably would have done it." Right? Because I thought, okay, but what it says to me is that we just need to ensure that process is done right, that we don't discourage, but that it's really that we do our due diligence.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like last year, the things that I've regretted last year is massive, and I'm sure if I thought about the year before, the things that are massive. Like it's you were changing as adults. If you're a child, then the change is something, especially if it's reinforced with parents, then it's kind of set in stone, I think. Like, as an adult, we're changing. I regret things all the time. When I look at things, I cringe. When I look at myself in past tense, you cringe. But when you've got adult family members reinforcing your beliefs, then you really don't have that opportunity to like reflect on what is. Let people grow.
In our family. Yeah. Well, in our family, there was nothing chemically done. She was at the age of 3 very verbal. It was 5, and it wasn't encouraged nor discouraged. And to this day, she's 17 now, and she's very productive. She's active. She's does great in school. Is the result and not just a fluke, you know.
The
You know,
way
nothing.
that you can that's a good way. Like, it's
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I have
Just be
a bit
supportive.
Yeah.
To Cassie's things, and that is, they are something of innate tendencies that are, well, bad about us. Is innate, and in that respect, I think you know, there's also a gender dynamic that's innate, but you know, morally reprehensible and also harmful. The whole sort of well, fighting back, well, a reproductive of male female. So
Yeah.
the male, to ensure lineage, goes and tries to exert social pressure. You have aspect to kind of this misogynistic anti-coupling for transphobic and being seduced by. There's also another nasty tendency, which is and the penetrative act being, in some respects, like innately, I guess, an expression of domination or penetration or whatever, and that kind of being allowed to percolate through the psychology, you know, of course, horrendous fear of gay men, and you know, overcoming those like nasty tendencies come, you know, from biological sources is you know, a moral mandate, really. You know, it's like we have a moral mandate to, you know, fight against our racist tendencies.
I've actually got quite some, about my views towards, you want to call it that, where it was, I think, when I was first kind of told, you know, gay, it's two men who have. I think my initial reaction was, "Oh, that's gross." Like, that's the idea of. Just thought was was kind of disgusting. That when later on in my life, this realization is what probably, I want to say, cured my homophobia. Even if I realized was a man and a man having sex with each other was gross, but the idea of a man and a woman having sex with each other was gross. If I was porn and I wasn't feeling horny, the idea of a man and a woman sleeping with each other, just the very actually quite disgusting. I realised I don't actually have any issue with who it is. It's always being comfortable, you know, I'm not the person involved with it. So ever since then,
you go within, if you go in a tribe of Africans who to them gay was the norm. Like, but back in ancient times, Greeks, homosexuality wasn't a big. It's portrayed to you in a biased view that homosexuality is a bad thing. Then you have this thought in your head. It's a cognitive thought in your head that's been placed there before you can even stare in your parents' head. They'll look at you like, what? That's not, you know. It's a pre-thought there. It's been something that's been set there. It's a seed planted.
it does depend on the society you grow up.
Yeah.
I think it's something that cuts across societies because, I mean, for one, you can see evidentially the trend is so pervasive, and I mean, on the other hand, you also have the sort of evolutionary biological explanations of where these negative or harmful tendencies come from. So at the same time, I think you know, the kinds of studies like went on with combating racism with say the recognition
I think racism is more natural than homophobia.
Similar looking people. Well, actually, I don't think it is.
I think you know, if you look in nature, homosexuality is quite common. If you look at races stone, like, you know, a sponge, a brown will always attack a grey sponge. But yeah, you know, if a grey sponge will have sex for, you know, a grey sponge. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's just sponges. I mean, if you look at
well, yeah, you want, you know what I mean? You know,
look at feather pattern, they tend to get along fine. I think because when we start talking about kind of created ourselves, and then we've drawn these lines in the sand which aren't consistent, and then
there's an actual physical difference in ourselves.
No, there is.
We have eyes, differentiate between
white people with tans, and you've got white people who don't have tan skins, but they're both still white. It's not skin color, is it?
Well, but the ethnic part of that is the racism part. Like, if somebody is black and somebody is white, we can obviously tell the difference.
Can't always tell the difference, because I can give you an example. I can tell you. I'm guessing you're English as well as I am. People consider Turkish people white because they're Italian. Some people say, well, no, they're dark. They look like Arab. Some black, no, they're not really black. They're different. Right? There is no real consistency.
Yeah, and that's
you can see the difference between
nationality. I'm talking about racial gender, like.
No, so am I. People cannot tell if conversation on whether Turkish people are seen as white or not, Romanian white or not, because they're European, or are they gypsy race? There is no consistency.
That's not the only definition of any racism. Racism is a group of flaws or attributes of another race. Okay, it's not whether or not you're from Turkestan or Afghanistan. It doesn't really matter where you're from. You know what I mean? It's your nationality.
No, a second. Let me just clear this up. I'm speaking purely on ethnicity. The Caucasian race, white, European, whatever you want to call it, Turkey, right? Are they included in the Caucasian race?
Just changed theirs in 2000.
You start to try and put people into brackets about, then that's the issue you're going to find yourself is the problem. I was with what your Turkish is.
This is my point. This was my point, that the our ethnicity consistent at best. You know what I mean? We say that
you're saying that, but the fact of the truth is that people are racist.
No, that wasn't the argument. I was saying that we have a very poor is anyway.
Regardless of that, racism is a fact. I don't know where Turkey is,
or
any countries.
I completely agree with you.
They decide to.
I completely 100% agree with you. That the argument I was making. I was just saying we have standards, which is why itself isn't natural. Sorry,
well, it's natural. Well, it is natural. It's something. It's something.
Tribalism is natural.
Could we give Sugar a chance? She's been trying to get.
Well, I just wanted to clarify something. I understood that, but they kind of just answered it and say what I thought I heard him say was that it was a tribalism thing that's kind of evolved into a racism. A racism thing that is, it's kind of what you both said. So. Never mind, you got there. I just thought it was going to get heated, and I wanted
to jump in quick too. But Clarence said it. It's tribalism. There's tribe and racism. That's my opinion. That's my.
I was wondering because we all do things as a species for a reason, and so humans have been warring for, battling forever, and I was wondering if what that was. Was it tribes of people? Or believe in the whole racism thing. I think that's
the nature of man. Man is a warlike tribe, and that's exactly what.
They changed this in 2000, and they put in all these Middle Eastern people, and you guys are the first people that have ever even mentioned.
Because you're being is tribal man's nature. Tribalism is a very natural thing. It's natural selection. Very specific thing.
Yeah.
Racism. We started racism into so inconsistently. I mean, it wasn't that people weren't only a little while ago, and now we expect them the old way.
Yeah. Be a part of it is a.
It's very shaky. It's very shaky.
The problem is not the moral problem. I mean, even if it were consistent, it would still be.
I understand anything that any man does is natural, you know, like so because we do it ourselves and we are part of nature. Humanity is nasty and bad and brutish, and that's a fact of life, and it always have been. You know, we will always be.
By what standard?
We'll be trying lessen that brutishness of our nature.
Well,
we have.
Yeah, and do so even more.
What I think you're saying is that, you know, we do, for the most part, we have procreate. Still, animal in is superficial. We're not living necessarily the lines.
No, but even regardless of being flawed, I don't think that a man being a part of nature himself, anything he creates is a part of nature. Nature.
Well, no. Well, it depends what you mean. Artificial. What
created by man is artificial because if it was created by man, then us being a part of nature, then it's part of nature itself.
Artificial.
No,
artificial.
No, nothing. Because it can be used in terms that we can speak about it because we are living within it. We can term about it as a part of it.
Okay,
the way we terminize and the way we speak about stuff,
right?
Then we can start to dive.
I think it's a language thing because I think that what you're really saying is create something and it still exists within the natural world, natural in the kingdom. Then I think the definition put together, it is still part of the natural world. So it's a language thing. I agree and I disagree at the same, depending on what kind of language.
Say plastic, for instance, is man-made, but then I would say to you, do you not think that plastic is made in vastness?
It's made by art.
Tell us about if it's intelligence that's happened here before. So if we can honestly think, do you know? Or don't
no, I mean, intelligence is natural because we were born with it, and then there's part of okay.
Intelligence. Even if it did happen, it would still be hated it. So it's in a.
I'm kind of the same. I agree and disagree at the same time. I don't know how.
You know, let's be very clear. It does exist. This is artificial. Have robots that they can think for themselves.
You're talking about strong AI.
Artificial intelligence exists. If it does exist, then yeah, fair. But like I can also say, I always think that anything that's created by us, with us, even if it's an alien civilization a billion miles away from us, we have technologically been nature.
Go on, Nadia.
Yeah, beyond just sort of like processes of our mind.
Hang on.
But still, the processes of our mind are physical processes, and the stimuli they are physical characteristics, physical emotions, and so on that are with physical processes of perception, of calculation, of instinctive and emotional reaction, right? And in many respects, the kind of like question of whether it's social is very much moot, right? It arises and it has a physical basis, both in the both the minds of the or brains of the offenders as well as the bodies and emotions of the victims, right? So, for instance, when gender is socially constructed, I think Julie Bindel goes on about right? There are various actual concrete characteristics that against each other and in combination and prioritized and so on. The prioritization, in many respects, is how it is, and and likewise, various features of race are done for that. And when these kinds of prejudicial affairs go on, there's elements of that the tribalism, right, and the racism are distinctively connected because those recognition processes are part of how in-groups and out-groups are perceived and recognized and instinctively responded to. So go ahead.
I was just thinking that an example of something artificial in a sense. I mean, looking at the way we see race today, that is artificial because it's something that we've decided is and we've started slapping the label on groups of people. I think that's something we've come up with, and in that sense, I think it's artificial. But I do take the gentleman's point that everything that exists is going to be, in one way or another, a byproduct of nature was what led concept is. But I think within the context of society and things which are natural, like trees and things that come from the earth, there's some things that we create and we put together which are artificial within the context of the society that are not natural. They're artificial, plastic.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Totally like on that is whatever we achieve or do, we do within nature. We're not outside of it. But you can look bigger at that. We're again stars, nations of planets. Like we can look at stuff internally. We can be subjective and stuff. But at the end of the day, being told that we are part of it, we're not outside of it. We can. No, if you look at something, if you build something, look at it from outside of it. You build yourself a watch, then that's okay. But then you have to realise that the stuff you build a watch with comes within the environment you're in. That's the same as being a human. The things that you have around you have been coming from the environment you're in. You are a part of the planet, not just the planet, but the solar system, the Earth. It's just we are what we are because we are a part of it. Nature.
Yep. That's what I said. That's what I said. We
regardless,
are. Everything is product.
Regardless if you're conscious enough to say that we can build up, that we're not.
Well, simply being natural is not a guide to it being ethical. I mean, rape and murder are natural instincts, and of course we decry those. And in fact, there's almost universal consensus on their being intrinsically immoral, right? In the same way, these other products of natural instincts, these prejudicial, racism, sexism, homophobia, they're all like fashion immoral, combative nature, fought against disease within matter, various rescue missions, against our own instincts when
something a little bit human is we're a bacteria on a planet.
It's actually touched on a matrix. I think that's how the agents describe the human parasite, using up resources, sucking something from any life form or another, and we're all doing that. You could say that humans are doing it the most because we use so many resources. We don't just use what we need to survive. We build infrastructure. We do things like that. So philosophically, I can definitely see that view of us being parasites. To an extent, you can call anything a parasite because everything needs some other substance to.
Entropy.
What you said beforehand about everything being in nature, I think we're expanding upon it. But the fact of it is that everything exists within the natural universe. That's That's just a plain fact. But I think when we're using linguistically with society, we have to have uses for words like artificial for products of the natural universe, because
the import of the notion of artificial to discussion of like racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia is actually not terribly high. I mean, irrespective of being artificial or not, we would still be, morally obligated to combat it.
I would say quick, just people understand. I think, when it comes to discrimination of any kind, I think that's the issue. Key issue.
That's probably a point to do with survival. Like I would guess that's inherently in us all. Like we hate what we don't understand, and that's probably what kept us alive.
As the way humans learn is patterns based on patterns, and when we see some fear of the unknown, that's simplified.
It's like it's positive reinforcement. That's the same. We all learn the same.
I don't think it's based on entirely on the lack of understanding. I mean, for as much as the old adage, familiarity breeds contempt, is not universally the case. The case in some instances, right? And understanding someone's part of an outgroup, then some of the people who say, actually, say that are be it orientation or whatever, it's a matter of that group unification to lack of understanding. Because of course they have to understand.
I agree with Nigel. It's totally understand something completely and still, push yourself away from it and from it. I not like something. You can fear something that you completely understand. I completely understand. Cancer, and I fear cancer as I understand it. She's completely right. It's not universally. You always don't understand. Sometimes understand very, very well.
What I was kind of appealing to here is, I think that when hatred of this type comes up, homophobia you're talking about, when it's lack of understanding where that other person's coming from, I think that's one of the main things that do it. But also are lesser angels. That's what I believe. We have a bad nature to start with, but
grandson. Anyway, my grandson, I picked him up from school one day. To understand this completely, he's handicapped and severely disabled, and has but he has an understanding of life of about an 8-year-old. But I picked him up from school one day, got him in the car, and I could tell he was upset. And I said, "Honey, what's wrong?" He said, "Grandma, I'm so mad." And I said, "Well, what's the matter?" He says, "I have a friend. She's my best friend. She's lesbian. Do you know what a lesbian is?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, he says, "The kids at school were being so mean and were calling him names and making him feel bad and just being mean to him." He's in regular high school right now, but he says, "I'm so mad. Why are people being mean to them? They're good girls and they love each other." And he couldn't understand how all the other kids in the school were giving these two little girls a bad time. And he's
self-preservation, maybe.
So it's not something across the board, and it's not something that's a learned behavior, where the hatred and the anger and the ridicule was coming from. And he was furious with the other kid.
But the matter is, if everybody was gay, then there would be no reproduction. So inherently in us is to reproduce. Homosexuality is something that is widespread. It's not just in humanity. It's within many animal species. But the fact of the matter is, is homosexuality is different from norm.
But I'm not about tolerance. I'm talking about
Yeah, but the basic emotional things that we talk about are something that is inherently been there. It's something that kept humanity. So maybe the hatred is a harsh word, but maybe the you know, like when you pick something up or you don't like something like you smell something, it goes, oh, I don't like that. Oh, you know, your body, you don't really know what it is, but you kind of like peel away from it. Maybe that's the feeling that people get. A lot of people do get from. If you look at it subjectively, it's quite normal because, you know, if everybody was gay, then there would be no reproduction. So any life form does is want to do is to reproduce. So to do something, it tries to maximize reproduction. So if homosexuality that was happening on a regular in humanity as we were a species growing, then maybe we'll come across a standing species now. We can reflect on it, but you can't point at people for not understanding, because you've got to understand it's in their nature. And people who say it's not fair enough, you can say that, but the truth of the matter is, if it wasn't in the nature, then humanity wouldn't be where we are at now.
this organized.
See, when you see us
People with the brown hair, and the whole group. You didn't say
off a height, would you be scared?
what that?
If you were to fall from,
Like,
babies are scared of is heights and loud noises. You can bang your hands and babies know what about. You talk about homosexuality, it's a social, because it's not an unusual thing. It happens in all animal. A lot of animal, you know, there's a lot of animals out there that have this thing that goes on, but we have to try and justify it. We are humans, so we have to speak about it and justify this. But the fact of the matter is that if everybody was gay, then there would be no offspring. Do you know what I mean? Do you know, like, so
I see
obviously,
what you're saying, but who's to say what's supposed to be the same for another? I mean, Allie, he's
just nature itself.
raising him. His dad's very homophobic.
I think what the distinction to be made with nature is that throughout the animal kingdom and humanity, we have to have sex.
I think that's pretty. No species.
Yeah, of course.
No species.
Yeah, of course. Say a gay dog, or not a gay dog. When a male dog has a male dog, he's not sleeping with he's not having sex with the other dog because he's thinking, I'm a homosexual. Homosexuality and heterosexuality are a byproduct of wanting to have sex. Of the person that we're sleeping with isn't really naturally prevalent in the minds. I do agree with you, obviously. If everybody was homosexual, reproduce, but that's the logical extreme. I don't think that there'll ever be a time where everybody's heterosexual or everybody's homosexual.
What I'm saying is like sex and homosexuality humans, we can kind of decide that is a problem. The point of nature itself, what then can't react to so then the fears to homosexuality and the reaction that people have to homosexuality is homosexuality kind of stops. Right? He will have no fear. He doesn't realise it is, but you might have that benefit
because it goes against and it is a warped, a tribalistic thing, because really and truly we don't discriminate. Really and truly, we don't feel strange around them because they're not procreating. With people, tribalism infrastructure of society, countries and cultures and religion and things more for us to see different and weird and wrong and sinful, and we are getting over this now because it was a milestone in our society where we. But I don't anything to do, not really to do with nature, because the going against reproducing isn't something that is only in the gay community. You can, like I said, infertility, and there's loads of, they don't reproduce. You can always say this because it goes.
Generalizing that, like what I was trying to say, the point I was trying to make is in nature and in humanity, and if you believe in Darwinism, then actions that people have against gays might be something to do with self-preservation. I wasn't trying to say anything about why people do it. Why anything is I'm trying to give it, but it's only an opinion because it's nothing true.
It was only the example, the extract from, but then the example, fertility, sleeping with somebody who is infertile goes.
Analyzing it because do you honestly think the nature of humanity knows itself what infertility is. It knows itself, like it can pick out these people. You've got about 1,000 people, and let's say 50 of them are gay and 50 of them are straight. Then it would take 50 that were gay and the 50 that were straight. Then surely, obviously,
but evolution works. But surely you people come from straight couples. So.
Yeah, that's gay to be gay. I'm not saying that.
Right. Where the evolutionary thing falls apart, because for the evolutionary method to pass down through the ancestors, the straight,
the mutation of the reason we are here. The reason we are here. Of evolution is progressive. It changes. Right. But that's not even what you say. Parents are straight, then I should be straight.
I'm saying that if you were using your example, 50 gay people and 50 straight people and 50 straight people, some sort of test you. I don't see what that. See, people don't procreate.
No, they can't. That's cool.
Right.
The gay people won't. By nature, with being gay, if you have feelings for another person of the same, you can't have a kid, basically. Yeah.
All right.
That's
okay.
fact. You can adopt. You can do. I don't know. And do something, but generally you can't. So what I'm saying is, by nature in itself, do you think that our society is a thing that's grown socially and consciously, yeah? But do you not think reproduction is something that's grown even evolutionally within us? Do you not think that we're self-preservation, like any cellular to reproduce? That's what we are.
I'm trying to what exactly that's got to do with gay people, because gay people reproduce, and gay I don't ancestry. It's ancestry.
But do you think gay people they are different part of us?
You're gonna have to.
So you're saying to me that I can't mention gay people because when I mention straight people in their life, gay people are different?
Hang on.
As us. Okay.
Please, let's not strawman this. I didn't say this. I didn't say that they weren't. I didn't say that gay people weren't. That when we're talking about the evolutionary method that you're using, like for example, if you were trying to say the reason why people get taller and taller and taller as parents, kids, and the taller kids are more likely to survive, and therefore the ancestors are going to be taller. That's where something where the evolutionary thing works. I'm saying that when you're saying, okay, it's not really an experiment.
Social conscious thing. We're not a single cell. We're not a repetitive fucking thing. We have. What we have is a conscious. What we do is what a lot of religious people say is freedom. We have freedom to be what we want to be, and then the chances are you won't have a child. Okay, that's just facts of life. I don't want to be saying that to be like anti-gay because I'm not anti-gay.
About that, I'm saying that all this stuff about
50 gay people, 50. I'm trying to say to you, the gay offspring is a byproduct of us being social creatures. All right. The fact is, our basic instincts. You know, like when you flee.
Clarence. Give Sugar a little bit of.
Just one quick question. When you say that about gay people not reproducing, are you talking? Because I have friends that are lesbians, lots of them, and they children have children, but they. So I just want to make sure that.
I don't. I'm just speaking about like you know, I'm not trying to.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. That's a soul. Like it's completely different. Like maybe the white people at a point in our evolution now that we can, we are aware to this. We talk about it like we are.
I've given reasons. I've given my reasons, but I disagree that the reason why, or even part of the reason why that we are against homophobia in our society, in our nature to do with reproduction, because you could look at something like marriage. Now the whole idea of marriage and that person forever goes against nature, because naturally we are supposed to with as many as possible and have as many kids by as possible. So you're not homophobic. You're not homophobic in the sense of homophobic. It's. I don't think
that's a social construct that's been put there by religion or whatever. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, but beyond that, like the instinctive, the point I was trying to make, regardless of social, because a lot of people are racist and homophobic by social construct. Just the same as like I will be monogamous towards my girlfriend through social construct. But actually, what you're saying is true. Like, if by nature we should be out kids by as many birds as possible, but we have become a social creature. Like, become beyond that. That's not working. But maybe some of these homophobic tendencies are because of the the reproduction, like having kids. It might be something to do with that. The internal thing that was so susceptible to it. And the same with racism, like be fearful of what you don't know. In nature, 1,000 years ago, that would be good. That would be good. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially when
I just don't think that there is a natural cause to our I think if we evolve tribalism, and I think that homophobia. Hang on. You could say that there is. You could say that there is a natural basis to the discrimination. Yeah, that has natural meaning. Saying?
There's no excuse now. We are established. We can talk about this. Being able to talk about it. That is what we are. The wars we have passed, but things that are like, for instance, you had gay turtles, for fuck's sake. I'm trying to say to you, but a gay turtle and a gay turtle want to be friends. Would they reproduce?
What question are you asking? You've asked 3 questions.
Let me think about this. I forgot what I was going to say then, but.
I would maybe try to bring in more of the hangout to